Hello and welcome. My name is Marissa and I own a small business called Naughty Girl Club where I sell my crochet things that I make. Welcome to my first YouTube video. This is super exciting for me. I'm really excited to start documenting myself being creative, learning new things, and making some really cool stuff. So thanks for being here. Today I wanted to film and document some of my preparation for this last market that I sold at this last weekend. This is actually my second market that I've done. My first market was at the local mall for Valentine's Day, and I did pretty well at that one. Like, I made maybe $400, $500 at that one, if I remember correctly, but I felt super unprepared. I was really stressing out the day before about setting up and all this stuff, and it was not very fun for me. But this time around, I felt pretty prepared. I think I was very intentional with planning and preparing everything for this market, and I'm excited to take you with me. Today I'm going to go through how I set up my booth, everything that I got for my setup, the pieces that I made and brought to the market, how I priced them, how I take payment, and as well as how much I made at this market. So let's get right into it. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is actually signing up for a market. I've had a few people ask me some questions on TikTok and stuff about how you can start selling at a market. As I said before, this is my second market, so I'm still pretty new to selling in person, but my manager at Starbucks also owns a small business, and they have been really helpful in helping me find these markets and giving me just all the information to sign up for them. Also, go follow them on Instagram. They make some really dope stuff. It's at Wholesome Creations, and I will put it up somewhere or link it down in the description. So basically, I just followed the local events organizers on Instagram, and they usually just have like a Google Forms that you would fill out with basic information about your business and what you're gonna sell and your prices, and just a link to your social media or your website if you have one. And that's basically it. You fill out the form, you pay the fee, they email you back, and you're good to go. You show up and you sell. It's really simple, and I thought it would be a lot more complicated than that when I first started, but yeah, it's not so bad. So my tip would be to look up maybe your local makers market, farmers market, craft market, anything along those lines, and I'm sure you'll find something in your area. So next up is the fun part. I'm going to go through all of the pieces that I actually made and brought to the market. So I do have a list here because I don't know if I took all of the, I don't know if I took pictures or videos of all of the products that I made, but the first thing I made were these checkered bucket hats, and the pattern was from Erin on YouTube, which I will also link in the description. I made 5 different colorways in these bucket hats. I just used a lot of my acrylic yarn that I already had on hand. Then I moved on and made these really easy granny triangle bandanas. I honestly just followed a free pattern off of Pinterest and then added ties for the ends. I also added a little scalloped edge for one of them, which I thought was really cute. And these guys were made from cotton yarn, so they're super light and airy, perfect for summer. And then, to follow the summer vibe, I decided to make some cute little beach bags. I made these 2 chunky tote bags, while double holding some really chunky yarn, and I loved how they turned out. The colorways were so pretty. I also made a smaller beachy tote bag, as well as these cute mini snack packs, which I love. The colors just pulled together really nicely, and yeah, they look pretty sick. Then I made this cute little brown mesh market bag, which I do want to make more of because they're super easy and super cute. Next up is my star bag. There's a bunch of tutorials on YouTube for these guys. I just followed I don't remember which one I followed, but I just got a pattern for a star motif, and then I made 2 of them, and then I just made a strap to go around it. They're super pretty. They're crossbody, and it's very summery beach vibes. I love them. Finally, my favorite bag I made were my cutie clutch purses. These mini shoulder bags. They're super trendy and really easy to make, and I thought they would be my top seller, and I didn't sell a single one at this market. So if you like them, they're up for sale. Just shoot me a message on Instagram if you are interested in buying one of them. I do want to post a tutorial video of how I made them. They're a super easy beginner project, and they don't take a lot of time since you're using 2 strands of chunky yarn, so it works up really fast. It usually takes me a little over an hour to make one, so stay tuned for that video that is coming soon. Okay, now for the tops that I made, I was really nervous about making tops because I wanted to be inclusive in sizing, but tops take a lot of time to make for me, and I just didn't know if it would be worth it to make a bunch of different sizes and then not sell them, which would suck. So I decided to make kind of a one size kind of style and fit so that it could fit a range of different sizes. I ended up making 2 mesh tank tops, one in olive and one in beige. The beige one was cotton, and I made them out of treble crochets, and then the other one was like just a double crochet mesh stitch, and that one was made out of premium acrylic yarn. Then I made a pink cotton and mohair mesh baby tee, which I freaking love. I didn't sell it, so it's kind of a win for me because I love it. I love the colors. I love how it turned out. I'm definitely going to be wearing it myself. Then I had this turquoise butterfly top and a red butterfly top that tied up in the front. I'll link both of the tutorials that I followed for those. I also had an old split dye top that I made a really long time ago that doesn't fit me, so I just put that up as well. And then I had 2 shruggies that I put up. I put up the brown one, the very first one that I've ever made, and another olive green one that I made. My mom also made a lot of stuff. She made a lot of beach bags and market bags and little pouches, so we also put those up for sale. As for prices, I always take into account how much the materials costed, as well as how much yardage I used, as well as how difficult the pattern was and how long it took for me to make. For markets though, I do tend to lower my prices a little bit just because I find it's easier to sell that way, especially with a lot of other vendors around. You know, people want to spend their money at different booths, so I find it easier personally if I do mark my prices down just a little bit. Not too much to the point where I feel like it wasn't worth it, but I do want to sell, so yeah, that's just what works for me. That is my personal preference, but if you are selling, please make sure that you're pricing your products at something that you feel is right for you and what you deserve. So my prices, for starting with headwear, my bandanas I priced at $15, and the checkered bucket hats I priced at $25. Then for all of the bags, they ranged from $15 to $50, depending on the size and the yarn I used, how much yarn I used. My tops I put up for $30 to $60, again depending on the style, stitches, and yarn I used. When I did my first market, I didn't list my prices on any of my products. I didn't have any signs for my prices, and people just came up and asked me how much everything was, and I had a little list in my notebook. This time around, I actually made little price tags and I tied them onto all of my pieces. I actually got this idea from Kate B's on her YouTube video where she was getting ready for her market. She hand stamped her shop name, and they looked so pretty and so cute, and I really wanted to do that too. So I bought stamps at Michael's and I hand stamped all of my price tags and then tied them up with some embroidery floss on all of my products. I think it made it look so cute and so professional, and I'm definitely going to do that in the future for other markets. For my booth setup, I had to bring everything. The event organizers don't provide anything for you, so you have to come ready with all of your equipment and stuff. So since this was an outdoor market, my mom bought me a tent, which I'm so grateful for. Thank you, Mama. Yeah, so she brought I think it's a 10-foot by 10-foot tent. I don't remember, but that's the size of the area that we were given. Yeah, so I brought my tent. I had 2 6-foot tables, tablecloths, an outdoor little rug to put down, a ladder stand kind of thing. I also got this random little hook thing that I hung my bags up on, that I got from the thrift store. And I also brought a crate that I had in my room. I brought a clothing rack to hang my tops on. And my mom brought a stand-up mirror, which was so nice, so people could try on the clothes and see how it looks. And I also brought lawn chairs. I always forget the chairs. I don't know. I always forget to bring them. For my signs, I also borrowed another idea from Kate B's, where she printed out these mini posters and bought some gold frames from the thrift store, so I did the same thing. And they looked super cute. I just designed some mini posters on Canva and printed them out, and I also printed out my QR code to my link tree because I didn't want to print business cards. I feel like they're a waste and people don't actually use them. So I put up my QR code in a frame, and then I also had some freebies at the front for people to take if they scanned my QR code and followed me. I also made this hand-painted sign for my very first Valentine's Day market, and I just punched little holes in them and hung them on the top of my tent. I don't know, I thought it was cute. So this was my little setup. I ended up moving some things around throughout the day just to switch things up, but honestly, I was really happy with how everything was placed and how it looked. I thought it was really cute. The only thing I think for next time is that I would move my table a little closer to the front of the tent, because some people were a little shy about coming inside and looking to see what were on my tables and stuff. But yeah, I think that's the only thing that I would change. Now, for taking payments, I actually have a square reader that I bought for my first market, and I don't know, I just bought it at the Apple store. I forget how much it was. It wasn't that expensive, maybe 60 bucks, but it was super easy to set up. It's just an app on your phone, and then you type in how much you're charging the person, and they just tap it on the square. And I love it. It's super convenient. You charge it up the night before, and it's good to last all day. And it only takes a little fee per transaction, depending on if it's debit or credit. And yeah, the fees are not that bad, and then also it links straight to your bank account, so you get paid like a couple days after, which is really great. And of course, I also took cash. Okay, so for how much I made at this market, I had a few $100s of product that I brought. My goal was to have $1,000 worth of product, but I didn't end up bringing a lot of the stuff that I made because I forgot it at home. So I did have a couple $100s of product that I brought, and my goal is always to sell out when I go to these events. I'm like, I want an empty booth at the end of the day. But I did not make that much this time around. I did make my vendor fee back, which was $60 if I remember correctly. I made that back, and then I also made an extra $205 on top of that. So in total, I sold $265 worth of things, which I'm very happy about. You know, it was a really big event, and it was definitely not what I was expecting. There were over 100, I think there were 103 vendors there, which is amazing. There were so many great makers there. It was awesome. But it's completely understandable when there's not a lot of foot traffic, and then also there's so many choices for people to make, and they want to spend at different booths, and it's expensive. So yeah, I think I did pretty well. I also got a lot of exposure. I got to talk to a lot of cool people. I got to meet a lot of different makers. So yeah, it was really nice. I had a really fun time. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. I'm actually surprised that I finished it and did something new and stepped out of my comfort zone. Well, this was really fun. Thanks so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please drop a like and share this with somebody who you think should sign up for a market this summer. Comment if you have any more questions or any content ideas you would like to see from me, and subscribe if you want to see some more. Okay, bye.